I just beat Cuphead for the first time ever. It was amazing, but it was also extremely hard. So I thought, why don't I replay the game? But this time, I'm making it impossible. Rule 1, expert mode only. Rule 2, no shop whatsoever. And rule 3, no mausoleums, which means no super art. I don't know if I can do this, but let's go. It all started so well, beating the carrot guy, then beating the toads, and then beating the gumball, all with relative ease. I was starting to think I made this challenge way too easy. Then it was on to Hilda Bloody Berg. She proceeded to beat the hell out of me for the next hour and a half. No! No! Oh, that was important. Oh! This phase is impossible! Oh, I'm throwing. I'm shooting at all of them now. Come on, I need you to die. No! Oh my God, close! Finally, an hour and 20 minutes later, I managed to beat Hilda Berg. Yes! Oh, it's been so long. Yes! And then it was onto the ugly looking sunflower thing, which I managed to beat pretty easily. But this is where the real challenge begins. Inkwell Isle II has some notoriously hard bosses, such as the Baroness, Beppy the Clown, and Grim Matchstick. I decided to start with Beppy the Clown, and it went pretty well, with me beating him in around 40 minutes. Then it was onto the Genie guy, who was pretty easy, and only took me 15. But then it was onto the Baroness, who after dying to a pickle for the 100th time... Okay, it's getting a bit ropey. Oh, I had to dodge the pickle! This is good, this is good, this is good. This is not good, the pickle! I finally managed to beat her. Yeah! And then it was onto the bird. I thought I was going to have a nice and easy fight before Grim Matchstick, who I was dreading. But no. Nearly 2.5 hours later, I managed to beat the boss that wasn't even supposed to be hard. Yes! Oh my God! Yes! Oh, that took 2 and a bit hours. Oh my. Then it was on to Grim Matchstick, the boss I've been dreading since the start of the game. This boss is known as one of the hardest bosses in the game, and I genuinely didn't know if I could do it. I think this is where the challenge ends. Yeah, it took me like 40 minutes, wasn't that big of a deal. Inkwell Isle III is when shit gets serious. The first boss is a tricky one. Normally she isn't that hard, but because I can only use the pea shooter, the last phase becomes a real problem. In the last phase, she turns into a plane and flies below you. That becomes a problem because shooting down with the pea shooter while trying to jump up results in me doing this a hell of a lot. I hate when that happens. So the best way to shoot down with the pea shooter is to hold R1 and aim down. But the problem with that is when you hold R1 and down and then click X to jump, instead of jumping, you will drop a platform. So to combat this, what I did was to keep doing it until I didn't. And yeah, it worked. It only took me an hour and a half. And then there were 8 bosses left. Some easy ones and some really hard ones. But lucky for me, the next couple were easy ones. The last 2 bosses on Inkwell 3 are the Phantom Express and Dr. Cal's robot. I'll start with the Phantom Express. The Phantom Express isn't too tough of a boss, but with the craziness of the last phase, it still took an hour to beat. Do you know what? I'm gonna start over here. Bang. That was a bit close. Oh my god, what did I just get hit by? That was lucky, I can't even lie. Oh! What the fuck just came out of my mouth? I'm not worried about it. Oh my god. Okay, I'm worried. Oh shit, it's all going to shit. I can't reach. I can't reach! Yes! Up next is Dr. Kyle's robot, who was regarded as the hardest boss in the base game by a lot of lists I looked up online. But weirdly for me, it went really well. I managed to beat him within an hour. No! Sorry. Inkwell Hell, the place I struggle the most. The last two bosses in this area are King Dice and the Devil, and they happen to be the two hardest bosses in the run. Starting with King Dice. King Dice is an interesting boss in which there are 9 different boss fights and one final fight at the end. There's a dice where the highest number is 3 and you parry said dice to progress across the board, but every number you get is a different fight. The strategy I went with was to start off by getting a 3. That put me into the cigarette fight, which I was confident I could beat without getting hit. Then get another 3, which puts me on 5. I know the maths doesn't add up, but that's because there's a safe area, which was a tougher fight, but most of the time I wouldn't get hit. Then get a 2 and a 2, which got me to 8, which was actually the easiest fight of them all. Then it was onto the final phase where you actually fight King Dice. This is where the problem lay. How you beat this boss normally is you parry on all the pink cards and just keep shooting, but for the life of me I just couldn't do it. In my first playthrough, how I beat this boss was I got all the extra hearts and just brute forced it. But with the pea shooter and no charms, no super, I simply couldn't do enough damage to do that. That's when an amazing Twitch chatter gave me a lovely suggestion where I'd run behind the guy's hand just before it came down so I wouldn't get hit by the cards. And with that information, I was able to beat King Dice. Oh, I did it! Oh my god. And then I was on to the very last boss, the Devil, who happened to be the hardest fight in this whole run. The Devil normally isn't nearly as hard as King Dice, but with the challenges I have, he ended up being so much harder. I gotta parry it. I missed it. And then finally, after 4 hours of dying over and over again, I finally got the run. I don't believe it. 17 hours, 21 minutes. Holy shit. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. This is all streamed over at twitch.tv/Syfy. Way more crazy shit coming in the future. See ya.